Good morning, grade 4 students. Welcome to our scientific class with Miss Shara. Let's read our work plan for today. Picture analysis, discussion, 3 R's, writing a story or making a story, and then we'll have our wrapped up. Let us analyze this picture. What can you see in the pictures? We have here wood burning stoves, forest fires, diesel engines, the smoke from the industry, and then we have agricultural pollution, non-road vehicles, and cars and buses. What are these? You are right. It is pollution. So what is pollution? Pollution is the introduction of contaminants into the natural environment that cause adverse change. Pollution can take the form of chemical substances or energy, such as noise, heat, or light. Pollutants, the components of pollution, can be either foreign substances, energies, or naturally occurring contaminants. Alright, what happened here? If you will look at these pictures, it has different effects of pollutions. Okay? While the government is boosting efforts to rid the Manila Bay, the Pasig River, and our other bodies of water of garbage, it cannot do the job on its own. Our people have to do their part. In recent years, the reckless manner in which garbage is being disposed of in this country has come under close scrutiny, especially after causing massive flooding. We have to learn lessons from past tragedies. Citizens must stop illegally dumping garbage, and government authorities must strictly enforce anti-littering laws. Our garbage and littering problems have become unbearable. This is why flooding in our cities has gone from bad to worse. So this is what happens because of the garbages or the pollutions in our country. Last time we talked about what happens to garbage after they put it in the garbage can. So what happened in our trash? The trip for trash starts in your trash can at home, goes through local water haulers, sometimes through the country, and always to a landfill. Sometimes trash doesn't make it to the garbage. In these cases, it winds up polluting places like lakes and rivers, and eventually winding up in the ocean, where it affects marine lives and their habitats by damaging the ecosystem and contaminating food sources. With this knowledge about pollution and what happened to our trash after throwing it in the trash can, let's learn about things that we need to do to manage this. Okay, so let me read the lesson targets for today. I can understand the need for waste management. I can understand the meaning of the terms reduce, reuse, and recycle. I can differentiate between the terms reduce, reuse, and recycle. We are going to learn two big words today: waste management together with reduce, reuse, and recycle. So this is our lesson covered for today, waste management. So what is waste management? Waste management or waste disposal is all the activities and action required to manage waste from its starting point to its final disposal. Waste management is important because it helps in maintaining the cleanliness of the whole world. It needs to be practiced because the entire population's health and protection depends on it. How do cities try to reduce waste? What would you do differently to try to reduce waste? While landfills do their best to maintain the safest environment possible, you can do your part by taking steps to reduce waste at home. What are the ways in which you will be able to reduce the waste? Reduce, reuse, and recycle everything you can is a great place to start. Buying recycled content products and choosing products that have less packaging are also great ways to cut the amount of trash you generate. Now let's talk about the 3 R's one by one. First one is reduce. What is reduce? Reduce means makes less garbage. For example, instead of buying juice boxes for lunch, buy a large container of juice and use a washable single serving container to take it to school. You can also reduce water usage. So it has been almost 2 decades since the Ecological Solid Waste Management Act was enacted in this country, in our country. By this time, all our cities and municipalities should have their own garbage control, waste handling, and recycling programs. We should be able to reduce our trash. Reduce is reducing waste in the most important thing we can do. In our school, we have separate trash cans, right? This is the most important thing that we can do. By reducing waste, we avoid the unnecessary use of resources such as materials, energy, and water. It means there is less waste to manage. How can we reduce waste? Buy in bulk to reduce packaging. Take a reusable shopping bag with you so you don't have to use a paper or plastic bag from the shop. Say no to a plastic shopping bag when you only have a couple of items. Choose products that use less packaging. Buy reusable items rather than disposable ones. Stick to a no junk mail. Sign on your letter box. Take your lunch to school in a reusable container. So since you are at home, you don't need to take your lunch or no need to use any more other packaging. You can use your plates or kitchen utensils and you can wash it. The next R is reuse. Use an item more than once. For example, when you get a plastic bag from the grocery store, put it in your car and use it again the next time you go shopping. The next most important thing we can do is reuse waste materials. That way, it doesn't go in the rubbish and end up in the landfill. It also means you don't have to buy a new product. That saves you money and saves the energy and resources that would have been used to make the new product. How can we reuse waste? Give unwanted toys and books to hospitals or schools. State-built school is doing that. Our old books or books that we are not using, the library are donating it to other schools. Put unwanted clothes in used clothing bins. Okay, we can donate this to people who needs clothes, just like in the Taal volcano eruption, or if there's fire, or there are poor people that needs our old clothing that we are not wearing anymore. Use plastic containers for freezing or storing food items. Save wrapping paper and boxes to use again. Use old jars for storage. Take old magazines to your local doctors or dentist surgery so that the other patients can use it or read it. Shop at a second-hand store or use online trading websites to buy items that are unwanted by others. We are doing that now, no? Since we have our COVID-19 pandemic, most are online selling. Take household items to your council resource recovery centers also. If there's a center that needs or that are collecting old things, you can give it there. Make memo pads out of waste paper. reuse envelopes, purchase reuse labels. The third R is recycle. So recycling involves some form of reprocessing of waste materials to produce another product. For example, recycling plastic bottles to make buckets. So what can be recycled? The main products that can be recycled are paper, cardboard, glass, aluminum, tin, and plastic containers. Composting and worm pars are method of recycling organic waste. Okay, even if you are just children or you are just children or kids, you can turn an item into another useful item. You can be creative. For example, scrap paper from the classroom or from your house might be turned into newspaper or paper bags when sent to the recycling plant. You have to help. Let's help our environment. Let's help our teacher. Why do we need to recycle? Recycling helps protect the environment. Recycling reduces the need for extracting or mining, quarrying, and logging, refining and processing raw materials, all of which create substantial air and water pollution. As recycling saves energy, it also reduces greenhouse gas emissions, which helps to tackle climate change. A cleanliness campaign must simultaneously take place in our homes, schools, community, and workplaces. We should realize that solving our pollution and flooding problems require the efforts of the entire society. It cannot be left only to the government. So we need to take our part. We need to reduce, reuse, and recycle. Teacher, what can I recycle? So let's take a look. Okay, so these are the materials that can be recycled. Paper items, paper, cardboard, envelopes, phone books, post-it notes, and magazines. We can also recycle bottles and cans. So if you are drinking soft drinks like cans, okay, soft drinks in cans, plastic bottles, glass bottles, aluminum foil. Okay, when you want to eat ice cream, so there are plastics in ice creams. Okay, cottage cheese containers. Right, so these are the things that you can recycle. Words to know. Okay, so 3 words that we need to know. Reduce, reuse, and recycle. When we know this, and we use this, and we do this, we all can save the earth. Okay, let's try to practice the 3 R's. Now that we are in our online classes, we have a lot of papers to print or to do. Now let's practice reduce, reuse, and recycle. Reduce. You think, do you really need to print that document? Save instead of printing. Then, print two-sided. The printers in the library are defaulted to print two-sided grayscale, or you can also uh, do that in your printer. Okay, set your printer into two-sided printers and grayscale to minimize the ink. Okay, to reduce the ink. Okay, then reuse. Printed something in error or no longer need it? Share your printouts when you're done with them. Use old printouts for scrap paper. If you don't need it, you can reuse. Next is recycle. No longer needs that printing. No blank sides for scrap. What will you do? You put it in the PSP box. You make your own PSP box at home. In our school, we have PSP box. In other school, they have recycled bins in the library. Now, since we are in our home, you can make, okay, You can recycle old boxes and make it into a PSP box, and then you can sell it so others can reuse it. Okay, so that ends our session for today. Our scientific class lesson is about waste management, reduce, reuse, and recycle. We can give a gift of love to our environment by reducing, reusing, and recycling. It starts with ourselves. Okay, let's help our government. Let's help our environment. Let's help ourselves. Let's manage our waste at home. So this ends our scientific class. This is Miss Shara saying, have a scientific day, everyone. I love you.